Thanks for that, Janie. Well, the man accused of killing a couple at Devilston State Park is back in court this morning.
Andrew McGann faces 2 capital murder charges in the deaths of Clinton and Kristen Brink from last July. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach joining us live from the courthouse there with what may unfold today. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Tiffany. Today's pretrial hearing could focus on a number of different motions filed by the defense on behalf of McGann. We don't know exactly what the judge will focus on today. Back in August 2025, McGann pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of capital murder and remains held without bond as he awaits trial. In recent weeks, McGann's attorneys have asked the judge to remove the death penalty as a possible sentence, arguing there are issues with how the case is being presented. Prosecutors responded, calling that challenge meritless and asking the judge to deny the request. The death penalty will be a big factor in this case because of the nature of the crime. Investigators allege that McGann murdered Clinton and Kristen Brink while they were hiking with their 2 young daughters at Devil's Den State Park. Both girls managed to escape the attack. On Monday, McGann's attorney also filed a request that cameras be kept out of the courtroom during these hearings as the trial date does get closer. McGann is expected to appear around 8 a.m. We will be here outside the courthouse watching and bringing you updates as well as inside the courtroom. Live in Washington County, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Well, today, former psychiatrist Brian Hyatt will appear before a judge at the Fayetteville courthouse. Hyatt, 7 others are accused of an alleged kidnapping and drug scheme that investigators say happened inside of the behavioral health unit at Northwest Medical. Now, this is intake video showing Hyatt being booked into jail on those new federal charges. Patients say they were held through intimidation and coercion. Hyatt also facing more than 200 outstanding lawsuits alleging abuse and misconduct. Today's arraignment will outline the charges and next steps in the case. We'll bring you the latest right here on 5 News.
And Joseph Duggar is no longer in custody after posting bond in Bay County, Florida. He had his first appearance in court on Tuesday. His bond was set at $600,000 for his 2 molestation charges. A girl who would have been 9 at the time of the alleged crimes told Tawnytown police that she was touched inappropriately by Duggar on a 2020 family vacation in Florida. Detectives say that Duggar admitted to the crimes. Duggar and his wife Kendra also face child endangerment charges in Washington County.
Well, in the final election before the big midterm in November, multiple key races were decided in the primary runoff.
Washington County judge is one of them. Incumbent Patrick Deakins facing Tim Shepard in the Republican runoff, and it was Shepard who took the victory with 77%. He will go on to face Democrat candidate Dana DeRee in November.
5 News reporter Lauren Spencer was at the watch party.
Tim Shepard says he's grateful for the nomination and says that this win belongs to everyone in the community that's come out to support him. He's a 4th-generation Washington County resident, a captain with the Fayetteville Police Department, and also served as a volunteer firefighter. He says his experience working across agencies has prepared him for this role. He says if elected county judge, one of the first priorities he'll be taking a closer look at county operations with a focus on long-term planning and improving infrastructure. Through his campaign, Shepard has emphasized restoring trust in county government, saying that starts with more transparency in decision-making and better communication with residents, especially as the county continues to grow. He also says he wants to make sure both urban and rural communities feel heard and that county employees have the support and resources they need to do their jobs.
We're going to bring transparency and accountability back to Washington County government. We're going to give them something they respect, something they're proud of. And to the employees of Washington County, change is coming, and it's going to be a really good thing for them. They're going to have a stable environment and actually have the tools they need for success.
Shepard will now face Democratic candidate Dana DeRee in the November election. He says his focus now is meeting voters where they are and making sure they feel heard. In Tawnytown, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Now we're also following other key runoff races.
Yeah, let's begin with Arkansas Secretary of State Senator Kim Hammer was going up against veteran Brian Norris, and Kim Hammer was the winner, 51% to 49%, a close race there.
All right, move on to the Democrat Kelly Grape in November for that race in Madison County. There, the judge, incumbent Larry Garrett, facing Theodore Walker. You see Garrett walking away with the win there. And let's go to County Sheriff, the incumbent Ronnie Boyd, facing Huntsville officer Chuck Mountain. This is for Madison County. Mountain taking 53% of the votes.
Meanwhile, Johnson County is trying to replace Sheriff Tom Hughes. Dale Wood and Gaston Griggs were going for the Republican nomination. You can see Gaston got 54% of the vote. Griggs goes on to face Larry Jones in November. Well, to see the latest on other runoff races, just text results to that number right there, 479-785-5000. We'll send you a link to our election page on our website, which is 5newsonline.com. Well, President Trump will address the nation tonight in a speech.
Yeah, the White House says he will provide a very important update on the war with Iran, which comes as the president says he expects the conflict to be over in the next 2 to 3 weeks. In a phone interview on Tuesday, he argued he doesn't need a deal to end the war.
Regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained.
Well, meanwhile, another American naval aircraft carrier was deployed overnight as the U.S. and Israel launched more strikes on targets in Iran. Iran's military has threatened to attack the Middle East offices of several American tech companies, including Microsoft, Google, and Apple, if Iranian leadership continues to be targeted. And developing this morning, police say officials say a search is underway for an American journalist who was kidnapped in Baghdad. Officials say Shelley Kittleston was seized by 4 men and taken in a vehicle on Tuesday. A State Department official saying that the U.S. was aware of the reported kidnapping. The Assistant Secretary of State for Global Public Affairs posting on X and did not name Kittleston. But he said that the State Department warned an individual about threats against them, also saying they will coordinate with the FBI to ensure their release. All right, it is 6:40 this morning. We're taking a live look in Florida. The Artemis 2 mission is set to lift off as early as today. This is a live look at the Kennedy Space Center. Preparations already underway.
4 astronauts are set to embark on a 10-day journey around the moon and back. The crew will not land on the lunar surface, but will travel thousands of miles above it, testing systems and hardware aboard NASA's Orion aircraft.
It's a stepping stone for all the things that we are going to do farther out into our solar system.
Well, you can see live coverage of the expected Artemis 2 launch over on 5 News Plus. Coverage will start at 3:30. It's free to watch on your smart TV
How
devices.
excited. Could you imagine how those astronauts feel right now? So nervous.
So nervous.
But so excited.
So excited. I mean, they probably dreamed of this their whole life, right?
Yeah.
Like, what kid doesn't say, I want to be an astronaut?
Danny, around the moon, would you take the trip if you could?
I'm taking space over the deep sea every time. I've said that on record multiple times. I'm going to say it again.